Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
So we would like to extend a special thank you to our sponsors today, Meta, Synovus, and Walton EMC. I'd like to recognize Jeff Collins with Synovus. Thank you. I'll ask Katie Comer with Meta, followed by Jennifer Braun with Walton EMC to come forward at this time to give us brief remarks.
Thanks, Bonnie. I'm glad I don't have to follow Jennifer. We want to thank you guys for allowing us to be here. I'm Katie Comer. I'm our head of community development for North America at Meta. We are so grateful for our partnership with Terry and the team at the Walton Chamber. Since we broke ground in our data center in 2018, we have vowed to be great community partners for our four-county region here in Walton County, Newton, Jasper, and Morgan. We are thankful that we get to sponsor these wonderful luncheons that bring together our community to truly work through challenges and figure out how we make a great community even better. So I want to thank you for allowing us to be here. We are proud at Meta to sponsor these luncheons. Our data center in Stanton Springs connects over 3 billion people every single day around the globe through our platforms and products. So connectivity truly is a core piece of our mission at Meta, and we are thankful that we get to connect with this wonderful community today through these luncheons. So thank you for allowing us to sponsor.
Ooh, can I stand down here? See, I didn't tan my legs. So if I get up there, y'all will see. But here, only the front row knows. Alright? See, Katie, I didn't want to follow you because you didn't even have to have notes. If I don't have notes, I'll tell you stories about my dog. So, as you said, my name is Jennifer Brown. I'm the youth and community representative with Walton EMC. And everybody knows what Walton EMC is, but just in case you don't, we are an electric cooperative. So we power your homes, your schools, and your businesses in this area. Now, since we all know what Walton EMC is, I thought I'd share a few facts that you may not know about Walton EMC. All right, so, and I had to write them down so I didn't forget them. All right, so Walton EMC does serve 10 Northeast Georgia counties. We have 139,492 accounts, making us one of the largest EMCs in the state of Georgia. We aren't the largest, we're like 4th, I think, but I can never keep up with that number. We have 7,294 miles of energized power line, and we have an electric service reliability rate of 99.9%. So, you may not have known those things about Walton EMC, but the one thing I hope you do know about Walton EMC is that we love the communities that we serve. So we love to give back to our communities, and we love our consumers, and we are thankful for the opportunity to be here and thankful for the opportunity to be in your community. So thank you guys.
Thank you. So now I will present our member of the third quarter. The company that we are recognizing today has been a member since 2018. The owner is a chamber ambassador and a referral group, serves on several committees, and a graduate of Leadership Walton. On their website it says, small business doesn't have to mean small solutions. We partner with startups and small team businesses to provide the same support, security, and expertise as in-house tech department, keeping your business secure, making it more productive, and setting you up for growth. Gilner is always willing to step up and help. One of the reasons for the nomination was what he has done for our reality check program that we do with all 8th graders at public and private middle schools. It's the game of life, and it's been paper, pencil, and calculators. All of those who have attended remember those days. Oh, don't forget the clipboards. And it wasn't until this year when this company, on its own time and expense, made this wonderful program digital for our students. We want to say thank you. Our member of the third quarter, Push Motion. Today on the champion mindset. Let's give her a hand. A big Walton County welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction and the invitation back. Where are my dragon slayers? Those that don't know, sorry, you just don't know. We missed you at the women's event. Okay, so let me pull this up. As I open up today's presentation and get ready, a few things before we get started. One is, if you hear, I'm giving myself some permission in advance. We're in a church. I'm a child of God. So if something goes down up here, know it's okay. It's okay. God he's doing what he's doing. So I'm giving myself permission to just lean into the spirit that God has over my life for the work that I do now. But a little bit about me before I get started and why we're going to talk about this champion mindset stuff today. I am a chemist by training. I actually have a PhD in polymer chemistry. Anybody know what a polymer is? Yay! A plastic, yes. Except I didn't work on the containers. I worked on the kind of polymers that are like safe to put on your skin because I worked on deodorants. So yes, I made those pits. I went to school so I could smell pits and make your pits smell better. That's what I went to school for. But I spent 15 and a half years in corporate. During that time, my team that I led developed technologies to go into some of the biggest brands. So, anybody, take a guess. If you used deodorant this morning, what brand did you use? Old Spice. Old Spice, I heard. Old Spice, I heard. No, and we're competition. Secret, yes, Secret. I heard somebody say Secret. Yes, I worked on technologies to go into Secret, Old Spice at the time, Procter & Gamble, Gillette. But I left all of that behind in 2015, and I left it not because my career was tanking, but because there was something bigger, a bigger call on my life, and that's what I do now. I speak, I train, I coach. What I loved and absolutely loved when I was in corporate is developing teams and developing the people on my teams. And I don't know if I somehow got the team that was probably the most dysfunctional, but by the end they were rock stars because they were rock stars. Because what I loved doing was pouring into people. So this topic that we're going to talk about, champion mindset, is actually one that I developed in 2016. And I developed it during the Olympic time. So go to the next slide. As I was sitting there watching the Olympics, how many of you love watching Summer Olympics? Yeah, you watch sports you never even knew was a sport. And you're like, really? People do that? Maybe I could be an athlete. Maybe. So I wasn't born with that. Even though I come from an athletic family and I'm from Alabama, I have an uncle that played professional football. And I remember growing up as a kid, and I'm going to get to the Olympic story, don't worry. I remember growing up as a kid, he was like a dream, He was tall, he was muscular, and he was super fit, and he was fast on the field, and he was fierce in tackling. And he ended up going Hall of Fame. I'm from North Alabama, so he went to inducted into the UNA, Northern Alabama something Hall of Fame. And eventually played for a little while, a couple of seasons, during the Raiders, when the Raiders went to the Super Bowl. Now, I was a kid, so me and my sister couldn't go, but we got to see him on TV, and that was super cool. But I never had an athletic gene. I was the kid that nobody ever picked to be on their team. The one that stood there and just waited to be picked to go on kickball, and then they were like, okay, we'll take her. But if it was Scrabble or some kind of challenge, I was the gal. I was first all the time for that. But so I think that's why I was so fascinated by the stories that would be on the TV during the Olympics. Because you would see these amazing stories from people from countries you would have to Google to figure out where is that country, why are they so fast, or why are they so this? And you would see all of this backstory, and you see the struggle that they took to get to the stage for that one chance, one opportunity. Now I just want you to think for a moment. Do you think before Mike Phelps or Michael Phelps or any of the other greats that go down in Olympic history got into their race or got into the pool, do you think they go in with a mindset, I might lose this? Anybody? No. They never go into that. Or maybe I'm just going to do enough so I can qualify. I'm just going to do enough so I can do this, and you can fill in the blank there. No. And actually, it was an interview with Michael Phelps that really stuck out during this time, because he talked about something that was so relevant to what I was going through. Because during that time, I had just left corporate. I had just got my certification to be a coach, and I was trying to figure out my space, my place in this new season. And he said, for me, the swimming pool is home. The pool is home. He said, I know I can put, and I'm paraphrasing, I can do anything I put my mind to. It was as if he became an ordained minister while I was watching TV. I was like, amen, hallelujah, I can do anything I put my mind to. And then I started thinking about, what is home for me? What is home? And I want you to keep that in your mind as you think through what is home for you. Now, he was just one of the many ones. There were the gymnasts on there, and I watched my kids pretend like they were gymnasts. And walk an imaginary beam on the floor and just mimic everything because it was so intoxicating. So it's something about when you see others that are moving toward these amazing experiences that somehow you just can't help to want to be a part of the story. Next slide, please. And that's kind of what's setting the stage for what we'll talk about. This whole thing about not settling for mediocrity. I started looking at my career at that point, and I looked at my corporate life, and although I had great accomplishments, I could see where I settled into mediocrity. Now, I was the first African-American woman to get a degree in my discipline from Virginia Tech, first. Not a lot of women look like me and have a PhD in chemistry, but somehow, as being first and still doing all these things I had accomplished, by the time I got into year 15, 14 and a half actually, I felt mediocre and was okay with it. Like, what in the world? You're a superstar, girl. How can you be okay with being mediocre? But that's what happened. So this quote here is one that I put into, this is an excerpt from an ebook that I published during that time. It's don't settle for mediocrity when you have the opportunity to achieve extraordinary results. It starts with having a champion mindset. Now, the key word in that one is opportunity. You have an opportunity, but if you don't take the challenge, you don't rise to the challenge like the Olympic athletes do, then you won't have the opportunity to strive and stretch. Next slide. So, what is the big thing that kind of helps to cultivate all of that? It is the fact that your thoughts impact how you view yourself and how you view the world around you. There's a great quote that talks about the fact that if I change the perception or how someone views the world by a millimeter, and think about how small a millimeter is, then I change the way they see the world. just by their perception of it. James Baldwin said that. And he was right about it. Because if I give you a different thought, if I give you a different view, a different perception of something, it changes how you view things. So I started thinking about this, and think about the number of white walls you may have in a house. It may look like really, really white. It may look like buttercream. It may look like eggshell, and all these different things. So you may look at the wall and say, it's just a white wall. There's somebody with a different perception say, you know what? It looks a little buttercream to me. Now when you look back at that wall, you can't unsee the buttercream because they've now said it. So everything you look at compares it. It changed the way you view it. That's a simplistic way to think about the fact that if you change your perception, how you think, you can actually change how you are. Now, we're going to walk through this a little bit. Next slide. And this thing, there's lots of studies out there about growth mindset and fixed mindset right now. You can pick up any book and they talk about it. A growth mindset is one that always looks for the opportunity for growth. Like there's always a space from where I am today and where I want to be tomorrow. The fixed mindset says it is what it is. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. I am who I am. I can't learn anything. That's a fixed mindset. So if you look at the graphic on the screen, with mindset being in the center, and this shows you how important it is, it actually impacts your behavior, top right corner of it. And how your behavior, how you act and how you behave, impacts the actions that you take. Whether you're choosing to take a step, whether you choose to, man, I'm not going to slide into this opportunity, I'm not going to stretch myself outside of my strength zone, I'm not going to stretch myself to rise up to the occasion. Those are the actions. It also forces the mind to whether you think whether or not a solution is available or not. Or the next one down there at the bottom is the results. Your mindset controls the results you get. If you think like a winner, that's what champions do, then you are a winner. You are a winner. You will be a winner. Then the other one is about performance. So if your mindset is stuck in a place that you don't see the opportunity before you, then the performance will. And it creates this cycle that keeps going on. And then coming to the top, your attitude. Zig Ziglar said that every day we need to do a checkup from the neck up so that we can remove stinking thinking. Somebody tell me, what do you think stinking thinking is? Smelly hair? Is that what you think? It's not smelly hair. Negativity, yeah, somebody said absolutely right. It's negativity. Negativity is a mindset. And if you stay there so long, and I tell my children this too, it's okay, it's life. You're going to visit some streets, but you can't stay there. You go visit negativity, don't hang out there. And we'll get into it later in the presentation. We'll talk about what happens when we invite these other things in. Next slide. All right, so I'm going to give you a test. You didn't think you were coming here to take a test, did you? So I want you to grab your phone or a piece of paper because I need you to record the numbers, how you evaluate yourself for each one of these. Yes. The scale that you're going to take this test on is a 1 to 5. The 1 is, I do not agree with this statement. 5, all the way to 5, is highly agree with this statement. Or you might pick something in between. First question on the screen. I view myself in terms of my strengths, not my weaknesses. Rate yourself. I do not agree, or you highly agree, or you're somewhere in the middle. 2, 3, or 4. So go ahead and record your number. Don't lose your number. If you're really smart, you'll pull up the calculator. Just give you a key. So that way you can do a little math. All right, next question. Rate yourself again. I see my potential for success as high. 1 to 5. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to pass your papers to the front. I know. So everybody knows your business. This is for you. Next one. I see my future as bright. What's your future? Man, when we were kids, think about the big dreams, the big goals we had. As you get older, those get smaller. But you can't stop dreaming. Next one. I see my gifts, talents as an asset to be leveraged to fulfill my purpose. It's okay if you don't know what your purpose is, but do you see yourself with gifts and assets to fulfill your purpose? 1 to 5. And then the last one on this slide. I see my ability to overcome obstacles, perceived or real, in my path to success. So you have an ability to overcome. 1 to 5. Next slide. Number 6. I do not compare my gifts, talents to others because they are unique to me. You don't pull out the ruler. 5. Number 7. When I look in the mirror, I see someone worth adding value to. 1 to 5. Number 8. I view myself as a creative thinker. Okay. Number 9. I view my failures as learning opportunities. And then number 10, I view myself with limitless possibilities. I can do anything I put my mind to. Kind of like what Michael Phelps said. So hit the equal sign and your total. Next slide. If your score, and you were truly being honest with yourself, was less than 30, it's time to absolutely, hands down, change your mindset. Don't leave today without seeing me before you go out the door so we can talk about some mindset things. All right? Because it's that critical in order for you to get success. The second one is, if it equals 30, you have some work to do. You were right there in the middle. Now, if you were greater than 30, so that means most of the time you ask 4s or 5s, then keep that positive energy going. Maybe rub it off onto someone else. Now, we can spend time, I just picked 10 of them to just talk about a little bit about mindset and the things with it. Now, on a given day, someone's mindset can be like, man, I am really beating myself up. Or your mindset could be, I am super excited, I can do anything. But it can change in a given day. So, on average, is what this one says. Next slide. So if you change, in John Maxwell's book, How Successful People Think, so not only was I fascinated with how athletes and their mindsets and the mindset that they have to have in order to achieve success, I also want to know about successful people. The people who start these companies and they run these major corporations that absolutely change generations. Think about McDonald's. I'm sure when he was flipping burgers, he didn't think that kids all over the world would be eating those fries and burgers and nuggets years later. So how do they think? If you change your thinking, you change your life. It starts with that fundamental thing. Fundamental thing. So next slide. So we're going to talk about what are the mindsets that produce different results. And I'm going to share 7 of them today for our time together. Next slide. A little bit about that first one there up on the screen. That first one, understand your limitations, but don't let them limit you. I already shared jokingly that one of my limitations is I am not athletic. Even though I had a tennis racket, a softball glove, volleyballs, a pair of skates, what else am I missing? Boxing gloves. I've had it all, and I'm still not athletic. I don't know how, even if I keep practicing, I'm still not going to be good. And I've been this height since I was a little bitty girl. I was tall like teachers. I don't know what my mom was feeding me, but I grew to 5 foot, almost 8 inches tall, very young. And people thought, oh, she's tall, she's closer to the goal, she's athletic. No, I wasn't. So, you understand your limitations, but you don't let it limit you. Now, I use that as an example, but we also have limitations that are unrelated to the things that people can see. But if we allow those things to come up to the forefront of our mind, control the way we think about ourselves, or even how we view ourselves, then we prevent ourselves from stretching and going into these great things. You guys still awake, or is it macaroni and cheese sitting in? Because I'm seeing some sleepy eyes out there. Number 2 in the mindset shifters. Create a strong work ethic that produces results. We're going to park there for a second. when it comes to this work ethic thing. When I left corporate, I was used to getting up in the morning, dropping kids off at daycare, and being at work by a certain time. What do you think happened when I left corporate and I did not have someone telling me I need to be at work at a certain time? Anybody? Yeah, I was in my slippers. And then I would get up, and before I had clients calling, even though I needed to do some work, that was my work attire. Before everybody was working at home, it was okay, and it was funny to have pajama pants on and blouses. That was me all day long. But I noticed for me, I could not be disciplined that way. I needed to physically get up because I had built my entire life off of routines for so many years that sliding into an area where I had no routines, my mindset changed. Fast forward, as the phone started ringing and I got clients and I had somewhere to be and I had to dress, then I went through another one where I had to change the environment. Then I was physically at my desk at home, and my desk sits in a corner and there are no windows. For me, I love natural light. And so even though my business was growing and everything else was growing, I still had a mindset that I felt like I was that first year, that second year. So I had to move my office outside of the house in order to create a new discipline of getting up and going to work, even if it was just a few days a week. So this thing about creating strong work ethic, you have to know how you're wired and what is going to help you in order to stay disciplined toward whatever the mindset to achieve your goals are. You guys with me? Okay. All right, number 3, learn from your failures. How many of you are entrepreneurs, have started a company, running your own company? Okay, it looks like half the room are entrepreneurs. How many of you have failed on this entrepreneurial journey? Tell the truth. Yes. If I had 2 hands, I'd put both hands up. Failure comes with whenever you have risk. And when you step out to do something super risky, it will involve failure. The thing is, learning from it. My first year in grad school, I had never failed a test. No, that is a lie. I lied in church. I did not mean to say that. Okay, I never failed a course. That's the truth. I had never failed a course. And then I got into qualifying exams for the PhD, and I failed it. And that meant that I had 2 choices. They said, call me in the office and said, Andre, you can go home, or you can get another master's. I was like, I already got a master's. I don't want another master's. I came here to get a PhD. So I had to take the test over again. That failure, when I say failing a test on that stage for a goal that I thought I basically taken for granted that I was going to pass, absolutely changed my life from then. And at that point, I have never, ever took it for granted that just because I have knowledge, it is guaranteed success at the end. And I learned that early in the career. Failure comes with the job. It comes with the risk. It comes with stepping outside of your comfort zone. The thing is, will you learn from it? Will you capture a story that will change the way you do things? I never took it for granted. I don't walk into any place and not be prepared for something because I know what that felt like when I heard that I failed. Are you kidding me? I got a master's. But I also know I didn't study. I said, oh, I'm going to pass it. I know chemistry. I know this stuff. Number 4, stay focused on moving forward. Now, we're talking about mindset shifters. That this whole thing of moving forward, if I told you your task today was to walk out of here and to walk to your home, wherever your home is. Some of you may live 2 miles from here. Some of you may be 10 miles from here. But if you keep walking, you will eventually make it to your home. It might take you a long time, right? So that's the thing about progress. Now, if you tell me you live in downtown Atlanta, I'm just like, just keep walking, just keep walking, just keep walking, keep going. That's the thing about progress is it doesn't matter if you leap or if you jump or if you jog to it to get to the next point. As long as you keep moving, you're making progress. Sometimes progress looks like a baby step. That's it. I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not stuck in this place behind. The challenge is to keep moving forward. And if you keep a mindset of no matter what it looks like, I'm going to keep moving forward, then you'll get closer to that goal. So we're at number 4. Number 5, make winning your goal, but being your best the mission. Man, I wish I was closer to you guys. I'd give the mic to somebody. Why do you think this is important? Make winning the goal, make winning your goal, but being your best the mission. Anybody? Yes, in the green.
Because who you are is more important than what you do.
Oh, you nailed it. It absolutely is. Yeah, give her a hand clap. I didn't even have to end. Yes, absolutely. Building your character up, becoming a person who has a winning mindset means you will never fail. Not failing like a test, but I meant you will stumble, but you won't fail. It's because it's who you are, is you have a winning mindset. Which is why when you look at those athletes I talked about in the opening, although they would lose a race, you'd see them back at it 5, 10 minutes, the next heat later, running hard because they brush it off, learn from it. Hey, maybe I need to drop my shoulder when I get into that turn, or maybe I need to stand a little different, or stretch a little different. They're already adjusting on the course along the way. And that's what, even with our lives, we learn to adjust the course along the way in order to keep moving forward. All right, it's number 6. We're at 6 now. Surround yourself with people that challenge you. Somebody else, why do you think this is important? Challenge you, people that make you uncomfortable. Yes. Yeah, it's the only way you can grow. That was the first thing I did in joining the chamber in Rockdale, is joining a leads group. I could join a leads group where everybody was friendly and it was warm and I felt so welcome and everybody were friends. And then I looked at another one, which is good. Everybody wants a friend, but that's not why I joined the chamber. That was a byproduct of joining. I joined so I could grow my business. And I needed to be surrounded by people who were going to challenge me in a way that I could grow. So I was intentional about that one. So being intentional about even your choices when it comes to challenging yourself to get outside of your comfort zone. It's so easy to slide into mediocrity. I told you when I left corporate, I didn't even realize I had slid into mediocrity. I was actually okay, I don't know how, getting rated a 2 when I always wanted to be the best. And every super competitive, not athletic competitive, but competitive scrap, stuff like that. So somebody got it. So number 7, next one, is managing that negative self-talk. That person in your head can tell you to do all types of stuff. Will tell you what you're not, will tell you what you're capable of if you listen to it. So learning how to manage it, it's always going to be up there, but learning how to manage it in a way that you tell it, not today, not today. I'm not her, I'm not him today. Next slide. Everybody got the 7 mindset shifters? Okay, so now, just like everything, you need to have a warning sign. So here's your warning sign. Your warning sign is to don't hang out with doubt. Anybody know who doubt is? Yes, absolutely. It's a killer of progress in anything you do. Next slide. It's about, when it comes to doubt, it only has 5 letters, but man, it's so powerful. It's so powerful, and its ability to send you down a road you never intended to go, just because you let a little bit of doubt in. Just because you started not questioning so that you could make it better, but you doubted your ability. You doubted your ability to make it to the next step. Next slide. The next one is doubt. Man, as powerful as it is, it can exonerate an innocent man. If you've ever watched Matlock or any of those shows, they always go after what? Reasonable doubt. That's what I say, reasonable doubt. They always get in reasonable doubt. And that exonerates that person, the innocent man. But also, doubt can hold an entrepreneur captive. It can keep you from wanting to move forward. It can keep you from in a place where you're perfecting things, making it perfect before you hit send on that email, or make that website go live, or even challenge yourself to do something you never did before. That's how powerful doubt is. So you can't dance with it, because dancing with doubt is dangerous. Next slide. Doubt will make you bow down in its presence. It will make you feel small when you were destined to be great, just by hanging out with doubt. It is that powerful. People don't even think about it. Like, what if I can't? I'm so intentional when it comes to doubt that I'll tell my kids, take that out of the air. You just spoke those words. Because if you speak it, you hear it, you believe it, it changes your mindset. And if you change your mindset, now you're going to have to do all that work we just talked about in the last few slides to shift it to move before. You don't dance with it. Next slide. What about if you do let it in? This is the thing about doubt. It brings friends. How many of you love unwanted guests? You just can't wait till somebody come over your house, knock on the door, and they come in and they bring extra people. And maybe they called before and they were only going to be shaking your head. No, nobody wants unwanted guests because then you spend all your time kicking those shoes, moving all that stuff, picking up dog toys, kid toys, or whatever it is trying to clean the space. That's intrusive. Like, how dare you come over my house and not call first? But this is the thing about doubt. Doubt doesn't ask you for permission. You know, it's not going to ask you, is it okay if I bring along with me a little discouragement? Because that's what happens when you let doubt in. And then laziness sets in, complacency sets in, and then finally that quitter's mentality. And that'll keep you from moving forward. That's what doubt does. It's the intrusive house guest. The one that you said, yes, you can stay over for 2 days. And you wonder why they come in with a big old suitcase and 2 other suitcases behind it. And be like, can you still help me with my bags? Because they're moving in for a while. That's what doubt does. It moves in. And it sets up camp. And it builds tents and houses in your head where you can't move past it. Because you're like, how did I get here? How did I ever think? Why do I think the way I think now? It's because you allow doubt to come in. You can't hang out with it. As soon as it comes over, you got to tell it, you got to go. I don't got enough food here. The beds, all of them occupied. Sofa, somebody sleeping there too. You don't have any room in your doubt. Open the door and let doubt go out. Next slide. This is another thing that doubt can do. Doubt can unravel months, even years of progress in just a flash. You spend all this time building and stretching and going, and you let doubt in. And now the way you look at that thing as I made baby steps, you now see I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I want to be. And now you unravel all that progress you made because now you're using a metric that's not even supposed to be the metric. And I'll give you a great example to this. I love telling stories, but I know we're close on time. I'm coming. I'm going to land a plane. I'm coming. But I was new to this entrepreneur life, and it's hard. So I applaud all of you guys who have been in it for a long time. I applaud you because it is hard work. And whenever I hear kids say, "I'm going to grow up and own my own business," I want to pull out. Do you know what? You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. I want to go down the list. But that first year when I came out, because I was so used to running the corporate business, you know, you forget that was your money that you was budgeting every single year. And it became a little bit harder. And I had all these goals, all my goals. I had all the plans together because I'm a super planner, were all related to financial goals. And so when year one came and I didn't hit those financial goals, I was looking at myself like, man, are you sure, Andrea? Are you sure? This was, asking myself. Showing up in front of my family like, yeah, I got it. I got a plan. I got a new plan. My new plan is going to get me to that financial goal. So I go back to the drawing board. I go out again, going against that same plan again. Still didn't hit that financial goal. And then it occurred to me that I had the wrong goal. The goal in year one and year two was not about finances. It was the fact that I literally had moved the entire family like the Clampetts from Ohio to Georgia. Nobody knew me in this community. Nobody. Well, especially here. Y'all don't know me here. But nobody knew me in Rockdale. And I didn't even have a business. So my first year, my goals should not have been about the financial goals that I had set. It should have been about the fact that I just needed to establish myself, get legs on the thing, and make it walk. But this is the thing, because I had set the wrong goal, when I looked at all the amazing progress I made in terms of building the infrastructure of the business, getting my name out there, I unraveled it all with just stinking thinking in a flash. And it really went to a place where I was just really hard on myself. That I had to learn how, again, to encourage myself in order to come out so that I could be full, so that I could encourage others who are moving toward their goals. Next slide. This last thing about doubt, if it's capable of so much destruction, it can ruin your mindset. Why do people entertain it? Why? Why do you think they invite it in? It's easy? Is that what you said? Easy? Mm-hmm. It's easy. I just doubt it. Maybe I can question it. Anybody else? Why do you think they invite it in? There's no right or wrong answer. The truth is, I don't know.
You're comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable. It's familiar. So it's easy to slide into it because it's a fight to not be there. If I could say anything, it would be what's on the screen now is staying faithful to the journey no matter what it looks like. This thing about doubt, it says in the scripture that if we have faith and do not doubt, what can we do? Somebody went to Sunday school. Anything? Yes, anything. Move mountains. We can literally move mountains, which is anything, if we do not doubt and we have faith. The thing is, you stay faithful no matter what it looks like. So, all right, let's wrap up. What did we talk about? We talked about the 7 mindset shifters. We talked about the fact that doubt is the killer of all the progress, even our mindset that we have there. We talked about giving ourselves a check-in on our mindset. Like, this is an everyday thing to check and see where your mind is every day. And then our final thing, to my final slide on the screen, is if you're ready for a change. Sometimes you need a partner, all right?